This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast.
Or a podcast about that this weekend. I want to talk about people. No one is.
I saw the text that you sent me earlier, which is I did a recording yesterday and I was gonna publish it on the podcast, but I actually that's what I talk about. And to be honest, I really need I need to publish the second book, Neoliberal Globalization, Reconsidered, Unfair Competition, and the Death of Nations. What's going on in the world today? I think people need to be educated. People have a particular kind of education. The education that we are exposed to here in the West is an education that does not consider all, that does not take into account the complexities of the world, the competitive nature of this world. It doesn't take into consideration how power works and the strategic positioning of the world and historically how the world is. People don't have that bent, so they're very flippant, even in the media. They're very flippant in terms of how they think, the ideological bent. That is why I had tweeted recently, and I said on a podcast called On a Quick Note, where I talk about the reasoning and the justification for attacking another sovereign state, Iran, is based in ideology that is hypothetical. And it's quite interesting that you're my twin brother and we have similar thinking. I wish you had an opportunity. I wish you're able to go on jump on the podcast or jump on Zoom and we can do a quick discussion about that. But you're busy right now. But you said, so we have strength for Iran, but not Russia, who has attacked Ukraine and also kidnapped and killed Americans. Why are black and brown countries decimated and we go to war for them? We go to war against them. And yet countries like Russia, which does the same, attack, we leave them alone. This has nothing to do with Iran, but more dark and brown people, sovereignty and ability to protect themselves. And that is true. That is the point I have been making in this new book that is yet to come out, and everybody's saying what's going on with it, but we need investors. Okay, but you are right, and I said that I didn't publish the recording, but because I was going to redo it because there was a lot of static in the background. But but I responded to you. I said Russia has nuclear weapons, Iran does not. China has as well. So we leave them the hell alone. So now Iran was trying to develop its defenses, its capability to defend itself, and we take them out before they could because we want to dominate them and we want to dominate the Middle East. That's what it really is about. It's about one's inability or ability to protect him or herself. Okay. Um, Iran is trying to develop its defensive capability, and once it does that, then the thing is, it makes them less penetratable. It makes them less open. If China never had its capability, the capability to defend itself, then the U.S. and probably the West would have attacked them a long time ago. Okay, done the same thing that they're doing to Iran. If Russia never had that capability, maybe we would have attacked them from a long time ago. Okay, if Iran had the capability to defend itself, they would not have the U.S. and Israel would not have attacked them, but they don't. And not on the fact that they may, and not only that, but they know that they are working on the capability to defend themselves. So, in order to put, they race against time to attack, to sucker punch the Iranians. They were sucker punched, and then we call it a preemptive strike because they felt. When do you attack somebody if you feel as though they're going to attack? It has nothing to do with feeling to attack. It has everything to do with preventing them from developing their defensive capability, preventing them from strengthening themselves in order to protect against the ability of anyone from imposing on them. No one is going to impose on Israel because Israel have the capability. Well, maybe you can try, but they are able to defend themselves because they have nuclear weapons. Okay, and I think it has everything to That's part of the issue. And so, yes, Ricardo.
It was quite shocking, by the way.
Sorry, say that again.
It's quite shocking.
And it's shocking. What's shocking?
The fact that we attacked them the way we did. And, I remember when Saddam Hussein was taken out, or Ben Laden, or whatever when Barack Obama and whoever took out those guys, they didn't kill massive amounts of people. They went in like some really good Mission Impossible mission, went inside the place, did their thing, took him out. They didn't cause multiple lives. They didn't bomb the place and kill girls and kill and civilians.
They're killing
what we did in our, and he's great about it, that what he did, because he's comparing himself to Barack Obama and how he did. But he can't, because what Barack Obama did, it didn't interfere with the lives of even their own Iraqis at the time. He went in and went inside the place. So the fact that every life is important, and the fact that you went inside this, we decided to go and attack this place and kill people that we didn't even want to kill, and even kill civilians. We did that in just to kill. What? Imagine I have a daughter who's going to this school in Iran, and I know I really want freedom from the supreme leader, who is 86, by the way. And then this country decided going to come in just to free me and my future daughter, who is the future of this country. And you end up blowing my daughter up, my neighbor's daughter, all of these daughters who wanted freedom from this tyrannical leader. And you also blew up this guy. So if I knew that's how you were going to do it, I, as an Iranian, I'm going to say, no, don't bother doing it. We'll have to do it another way. Because if this is how
Ricardo, they say that
makes
they're bringing democracy. They're bringing democracy, or American brand politics. That's the problem, You are trying to get rid of one regime to bring in and to impose your regime, your idea of democracy.
But that's not even the point right now. My point is, why in the name of doing something good, you have to take so many lives, innocent lives.
Innocent lives, yes.
I mean, they want that every life is important. That if you, as Mr. Trump or MAGA or whoever, value the lives of everyone, then you would have think twice about the way in which they carried out this mission. This mission was a failure because they took out so many people.
Well, but Ricardo, it's not a failure to them. It's not a failure to them because because they are fighting against a people who they call lunatics. They're calling who they have demonized. They have always demonized. They've always demonized black and brown people. They've always demonized black and brown people as nothing. This is how they went to slavery. Okay, slavery was a reality. First, and the first thing they did was to redefine the people as property, as nothing, as evil, as terrorists or evil. To justify why they can enslave a whole set of people. That is how they work. Okay, they call these. Did you see Donald Trump said yesterday? He calls them lunatic, Ricardo. And I'm gonna say,
hold on. I heard all that. What I'm saying is their justification for bombing and starting this war is in order for these lunatics or some of the Iranians who are very religious to free their own people. So he's not calling all of them lunatics, Renaldo. He's saying the tyrannical leader, he's going to take them out so that the people of Iran can be free. However,
that's an argument for convenience.
No, I know. But if that is the case, if you're going to use that argument, listen to me. What I'm saying, in doing this, in achieving this goal, bombing the country, bombing that leader, does not, a part of the equation doesn't include bombing these girls. There is a school that was bombed in the interim while they were trying to take this guy out. About 150 schoolgirls were killed, Iranian girls. I'm trying to say to you, if that's the argument, why did you kill 150 Iranian girls in China?
That's what I'm saying. It's not. They're just that's a smokescreen. That's an argument from convenience. They call these people lunatics. They couldn't care less about these people. You understand? They couldn't care less about them. Israel couldn't care less about them. For them, they don't believe in these states. For them, it's what's supreme is the Jewish state is supreme. Okay? And they are calling the shots anyways, and the US is following suit. But now, I mean, they're trying to save face by saying that is not the case.
Well, I don't know if it's a smokescreen, and even if it's not, let's say what they're saying is true. What they're doing, what I'm saying is they're putting their foot in their mouth because every time they come out and make an argument or say something, it doesn't make any sense.
But if that were the case, Ricardo, if they were trying to help these people, they would not have attacked the way they did, and they are still attacking. They've already killed the Ayatollah, and they are still creating damage. And now they're saying, okay, and now they're saying that the war is going to continue for several days. Okay.
Yeah, because the goal was not to take out the Ayatollah. That was a smokescreen, like you said. It was not. The Ayatollah was already weakened. All right? What was going on in Iran was that the 80% of the country were not religious. They wanted freedom from religion, something that this country wanted, and they're fighting that in this country. But this country said that we're a Christian nation, the Republicans and MAGA. While in Iran, 80% of the people wanted freedom from their Muslim belief system. 20% of them did, including the Ayatollah, which was religious, and they wanted freedom from it. So they were slowly working towards that goal diplomatically, and they were even protesting. The fact that Trump came in and said, first of all, they bombed them a couple months ago and said that their nuclear thing is destroyed, which was not true. So lies upon lies, everybody sees that. Then you bomb them, and you're still going to bomb them. The idea is to not just weaken the Ayatollah, but the idea is to take out their ability to defend themselves by destroying
precisely.
their navy,
And what they said,
army,
first of all, they keep saying
that,
they
let
felt.
me finish this point. So that Israel and the U.S. government could go into Iran, because guess what? Nobody can go into Iran right now because they are such a big country. You don't know. If they're working in darkness and satellite. They want to be able to go in and then take over and infiltrate, but they can't. And that's the idea. They want to go in and then think they have see what oil, precious metal, all of this. And even though they bombed the Ayatollah, they realized that what they wanted was the ability to come into the country. They can't get that. So what they're going to do is what? Let's destroy the entire military, which is what they always wanted, so that Israel can take over the Persian Gulf, because that has always been the goal. The goal has always been taking over the Persian Gulf, so Israel could control that entire
that is
region.
the point that we made, and that's the point I made the other day on the podcast. On a quick note,
I said that that has always been the goal. And first of all, they said that they attacked because they felt as though the Iranians were going to attack. They felt. So they sucker punched them. They threw a sucker punch. You call it a sucker punch. Okay. First of all, they were having negotiations. And according to the United Nations and the Security Council, the people, they said that they don't believe that they had the ability to develop a nuclear weapon until 10 years from now. It was 10 years out. So they have, okay, but the US said they felt as though they were going to attack them. They felt. That is absolutely ridiculous. When do you go, hold on, when do you go to war with somebody, or when do you engage in a conflict because you feel as though you're going to, or you feel as though the other person's going to? So if I feel like you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you first. That is childish and juvenile. So what it's telling me that politics today has become so juvenile that they are willing to engage in these kind of tactics, which makes absolutely no sense. That is not how politics is done. Anyways, I want to make the point that, Ricardo, the arrogance of Rome is what toppled them. The arrogance of Europe and Germany is what toppled them. The arrogance. When people rule with arrogance and when you're demeaning, then that is what will topple you. And right now, what I'm hearing from the White House, what I'm hearing from Pete Hegseth, and the way how they are talking about dead and so on and so forth, they are speaking with such arrogance, with such evil, and then you wonder, who is the aggressor here? Who is the aggressor? The people who is the aggressor? It's the US and Israel that's the aggressor, to be honest. And Iran is just reacting to the aggression. There is no way that you cannot expect people to respond to aggression. And then you killed a leader and they must just sit down and do nothing, because that has always been the case. You cannot attack the U.S. and Israel without they will attack the hell out of you. But it's okay for them to attack.
Absolutely ridiculous.
He wants a war. He always wanted one. He wanted to be this leader, this thing. He wants a war before he dies. That's on his checklist. I'm just kidding. Listen, Ronaldo. Right now, like I said, the goal is for Israel to take over the entire Persian Gulf and an entire region. And if Israel is successful, they will be the most powerful country on earth if they take over that entire Persian Gulf.
The goal is always to make Israel is supposed to be the dominant country in the Gulf, in the Middle East.
Ronaldo, the first one, right? They did Iraq already. That's going to be next. If
they are, Ricardo, you are. Oh my God, we think we are really twins.
And then it's going to be Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. They think that they're working with Trump and the US.
Yes, Ricardo.
They're going little by little.
Gaza. You saw what they did? They make sure they got rid of Hamas and the Gaza because they knew that they were going to attack Iran. So they're slowly, and then here it is UAE think that they are fine. Egypt think they are fine, and all these other countries think they are fine. They are not fine. As soon as they develop their defensive capabilities and it seems as though they're becoming powerful, then they will be taken out. And of course, first of all, Iran is one of the most dominant countries militaristically speaking, in the region. Okay, Iran is one, and they were developing their capability just like China and Russia. But now, once you get rid of Iran, that it paves the way for the U.S. and Israel to dominate the area because these other small countries won't be able to do anything. I'm going to tell you this right now. The only way they're going to do this is unless they kill about 50 million. There are 92 million people that lives in Iran. 93. Yeah. Yes, there you go. So and the army is 565,000 people. Is in their army. And like you call them, if you call them radical, it means that, which means that if you bait them, they're willing to kill themselves and do all of this stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't just, to be honest, Renaldo, life is so important to me. I just don't like wars. I like the bombing of people and shooting people. You know, from the killing of Nicole Goodwin. No, but it's okay, Ricardo. It's okay to bomb, and they're not really people. They're lunatics. They are terrorists. They are terrorists. I'm a humanist. They are terrorists. And Ricardo, the point I'm trying to make is, Ricardo, that's how power works. That's how they're trying to justify why they can attack and treat people with injustice. Okay, why they can treat people, belittle people. They belittle you. That's how power works. They redefine you as something else in order to justify their attack. Okay? You know what? They are the lunatics. Yes? They are. But if anything, who are the terrorists? The US and Israel went in and terrorized a sovereign nation because they were trying to develop their capabilities. But, okay, depending on the education you have and where you are, you'll never see it like that. And that's what they're selling you. They will sell you that. I'm telling you that if you are a person of African descent and you see how slavery, and you study history, really study history, and see how people are enslaved, and you study oppression, if you study oppression, that is how, when you look at the trope of oppressor versus the oppressor against victim and those who are victimized, the rapists is all okay. It's all the ability to penetrate, and then the justification is always, they were half humans. They were terrorists. They were evil. They weren't. And the West has always justified its ability to terrorize others by calling the other. They are the ones who are terrorists, or using historical argument or history to try and say, these people are still terrorizing. I mean, when was the last time, what has been the case over the last couple of years? Have we seen any kind of suicide bombings happening recently? But yet still Iran is a terrorist. Ridiculous. I mean, that's what I try to, Here's the deal.
we're going to war with a sovereign nation, with a country who all they wanted was uranium and the ability to
modernize.
To modernize,
Yeah.
because uranium helped them with energy and the ability to protect themselves. So if anyone tried to push them around and tell them what to do anymore, you don't do that. That's it. And the ability to protect their brothers and their sisters, like they want the ability to protect Iraq, they want the ability to protect Kuwait and any other country like Israel or America who might try to push them around or bully them. That's what's going on. I mean, what else are you fighting for? They're not trying to attack us. They're not any imminent threat. They haven't attacked Americans in how long? The only people, America have only been attacked by 3 countries in the last several years: Russia, China, and who else? North Korea.
We have an international international. What are people talking about saying in terms of Netanyahu? He's already been. Isn't he already charged or supposed to be brought before the in the International Court of Justice? He's already isn't he supposed to be brought before them because of what he's done? But yes, he's there attacking people.
Well, yeah, because he has to stay in office because while there's war and all this thing going on,
we have a guy that is attacking another country who's already been brandished as himself being as someone who has violated war crimes. Someone who has committed war crimes. Someone who, we have already said that, but he's making the decision to walk into another country and to attack them, and it's okay. Yeah, because, I said to people, depending on who breaks the law or who commits the injustice, it's not, okay? If you are black and brown or come from a certain country, then there is nothing you do that is right. Okay? You can if you are a Western Caucasian person or you are a Jew, you cannot do anything wrong, even if it is wrong if somebody else does it, it's okay. You call this duplicity. You call it Pharisees, but aren't Pharisees Jews? We're talking about the Pharisaical nature of life here. Pharisaicalism, hypocrisy, duplicity. This is issue of duplicity because they get to attack and to justify their attack, but the others can't. This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast. I have on the phone Ricardo McKenzie. This is the Pulse. We're talking with Ricardo right here. Yes, and he's on the phone, so that's why you're hearing a little.
All of those stuff that you're talking about, we've always covered these issues, and it's just not going anywhere. Because I've heard so many discussions today about, on TikTok they have these black Americans hating on other people from Africa, and they're talking about race. This thing about race, that's what they're just. I mean, people are getting killed, and they're having a discussion about race. I'm sorry, I'm over that right now. It's just like because you have people within your own race is hating on them on your own race. That's the only way you're gonna fix racism in this country and immigration is unless people within your own. If you think that you're from a certain racial background or strata, and then you start hating on someone else when there's no pure blood in the world today. Anyways, I don't want to deviate. I have a quick thing I want to talk about. So I was looking at, do you really believe that Donald Trump wanted to do all of this? I feel like people are just, he's a puppet. He's been pushed to doing things that probably someone is telling him and he's just getting wrong information and this is not really his doing. Because he's all about America first. All of this that's happening doesn't seem like it's something that it's him. It doesn't seem like him at all. I mean, how about that debate? How about him being pushed and forced to do stuff that he doesn't want to do? I just don't believe that this is Trump. I feel like somebody has hijacked Donald Trump somehow, because this can't be. He came up point blank and said he's not going to a war and America first. It's all about America. And everything he's doing is antithetical.
Well, I mean, we're threatening to attack Cuba. We're threatening to attack Mexico. We are.
But could it be a thing where he's 80 years old, he doesn't look like he's in his right? I don't know. Could he be Could it not be him and people around him or someone is pushing the button and it's really not him?
No, he's pushing the button, all right.
No,
but, I mean,
or if that's not the case, does somebody have something over his head that's forcing him to make these decisions that he doesn't want to do?
well, I
Because you
mean,
know him, he's done so much that he has to hide and cover up that. I mean, and he's obfuscate that. So you can't have a record and be who you are without having somebody having something on you and being in a position of authority. And in order to maintain a position or not to get away or people to think differently of you, you have to make decisions and do things that you don't want to do in order to protect
it's difficult to speak like it's. I mean, that these are hypothetical situations. We don't know what we know. We see him out front saying that this was clearly his decision, and
yeah, but not if something can topple this position you're in. And right now, you're weak. So the thing that the person have over you is not if they put it out there. Like for example, I noticed that a lot of the Epstein files has been cleaned with who information.
Yeah.
That
We're gonna have to take it. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to wrap it.
Wait, listen to me. A lot of people have a lot of information about the Epstein saga and a couple people that's in there. And Renaldo, I'm telling you, a lot of people. This is why I believe it is a constitutional crisis we have in this country, because the Epstein saga is a huge FBI, CIA. It spans not just America; it goes to all other countries.
I mean, the idea of having a war was not far-fetched. We believe that when you read the MAGA Project 2025, the fact that he wants to hold on to power, if we are at war, then it also gives the president the ability to extend his time in office. I mean, that has always been the fears of some people, or some people have assumed that okay, he's going to start a war before he ends, or war is
my
always
situation, Renaldo.
they've
This
war.
is all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
Follow the Epstein case, and that will solve all the problems we have in the world today and yesterday.
I mean, I don't know. Why do you think that?
I think the Epstein case is way bigger. I said this to you once before.
Way bigger than what? Than what's going on in Russia and how power works?
No, and I'm not saying it's bigger.
Sorry, not Russia, in Iran, in the Middle East?
What I mean to say is there are people who are tangled up into this situation that have to make political decisions that they don't want to because of the Epstein's. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, the Epstein is another issue all by itself. But we know that.
No, it's not.
I mean,
I've heard statements that Epstein was a spy for governments. Okay. I've heard that as well. He had places in the Cayman Islands. He had places in other countries. He had places in the Persian area, in Israel. He didn't really have places here. Just so you know, he said he was working for which government. That's what has been told. Remember, he was friends with Netanyahu as well. So I am telling you, I've heard that. I don't know if there's
okay, that's you've heard it, but I mean, I'm not sure how. We're not sure, but we don't know what the Epstein is a discussion that we can probably have.
He was trying to be close with every single leader. He was trying to be close with everybody. He may not be. He was trying to be close with a lot of people of authority in order to get and share information. That's why I think Andrew was stripped and the other guy, the ambassador in England, and they're searching his house because apparently information was shared between Epstein and these people who were in a position of authority. To happen, and that's what they're investigating. So I'm saying to you, that's why I brought up that information. This is and all this stuff. There's a lot going on here. Maybe that was used as a front. That was used as a front to gather information about countries and to weaken political foes. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's why I always say to you, before a year ago, you and I had a podcast, and I said, follow, do not lose focus. Stay on the Epstein because it's going to lead you to a lot of places that you don't want to be led to.
Yes, but
and it's leading us to Harvard, Yale University, to the Queen and King of England and the royal family. People, it's Jamie Dimon, millions of dollars from Chase Bank.
Yes, Ricardo, but I mean, fine. But many of these, we still don't know much about this Epstein situation. I mean, we see they interviewed Hillary Clinton, which believes she thinks that it's a much ado about nothing. Bill Clinton thinks it's a much ado about nothing. It's hard. The very same people who are conducting the interviews, are probably also know much more. But I mean, there's some. But I'm not sure what's going on with the Epstein thing. But and that's probably something separate and apart from what I want to. This show is about. We're talking about the war. Now, if we want to talk about
but
Epstein,
I'm telling you, it's not separate and apart.
No, I mean,
you're saying it's. I'm trying to tell you, Ronaldo, that it's not separate and apart.
I mean, what does the Epstein? What is going on? What is going on in Iran with the U.S. and Israel attacking Iran have to do with the Epstein? What does that have to? That's a different topic for us. We can talk. Okay, they are trying to hold. They are saying that these politicians rape minors, and that what's his name was facilitating these millionaires taking advantage of underage girls, which is a crime.
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what is happening. I've been following the story, and there's much more than just that. And I'm telling you, that was an affront to a more international espionage and also international political dealing and stealing information. This is like CIA stuff. This is why I'm telling you that there are people in England and people in other countries in Europe has been locked up and stripped of their powers because of sharing of classified information to Epstein, because they just saw that in documents that was just released and they didn't even realize it. And so now they haven't released half of the Epstein file has not been released because there's information in it that are classified that was shared between Epstein and leaders in top position, because also don't forget, Andrew was also the head of his military in Ireland or England. It was given to him by his brother, and there was information shared between Epstein about countries and how they operate. So what I'm trying to say, it's far more than sex crimes that are committed here.
Fine, that's something that we can talk about Epstein and what's going on there.
That's why I said to you, we need to investigate.
But this topic is about what's going on in Iran, and I am recording, so I don't want to confuse the audience with Epstein and the attack against Iran, and whether or not that Epstein has any. Maybe we can have the argument that the attack on Iran was not preemptive. The attack on Iran has nothing to do with a regime change. It has everything to do with distracting from the Epstein. Oh, I mean, that we can say, but we're not sure. That's an assumption I'm making. I'm not sure. That could be true.
In every angle is an assumption with the current administration, and that's the problem. We assume everything. We can't get there. I mean, but de Blasio, the Secretary of State came out and said, what's his name? Rubio said the reason why we went was because Israel, and Trump said no, it's something else. Information, you can't follow information. You literally have to go and do your digging and your research, and then when you do your digging and research, they hate you for it because they want to know where you get this information. Man,
you cannot follow I mean, they are so untruthful and dishonest. They're so pharisaical, duplicitous, and hypocritical.
And it's like,
yes.
But that's the world we live in today. We live in a world where
we're talking with we're talking with Ricardo McKenzie.
I'm Renaldo. This is the Pulse. He's on the phone right here. This is a lot going on right now in the world, in the US, and in all of the world, and we hope for the best. But of course, I'm upset that I do not like arrogant people, and I don't believe the US should lead with arrogance, because arrogance always is the death of powerful countries. It's the arrogance. You lead with arrogance, you will topple, because we have to give an account to God. I believe in karma, and if we continue in certain vein, then the error of our ways will bring us down. So, I hope that we think about that as a nation, and that we as a people, we hold our leaders accountable and don't encourage them to act out of arrogance and so on. So.
Well, it won't be changed. It won't change for now, because we are living in a period of arrogance, and vengeance is mine, of hate. We're living in a time where we're seeing it, where You don't have love for your neighbors. You don't, and by neighbors, I don't mean your next door neighbor. By neighbors, like somebody in another country.
Yeah, but this is where, that is true. This is where we're going to leave it.
And in our need, and we seek to make the world peaceful and justify everything. Instead of using diplomacy, we use fire. A soft answer turns away wrath, but grieving words stir up anger, stir up. So this is a fierce way. We're using fire, and it just shocked me that we have Pete Hegseth would come on the news this morning and talk about, we're gonna give them everything we got, and God is good, and then
that's what I thought.
Talk about God.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Talk about God. Yeah, and then I'm talking about
we are a Christian country, right? We are a Christian country, yes. But when Europe went to Africa and enslaved these people, and when they brutalized people all over the world, black people, they still call themselves Christians, yes. Okay. But anyway, this is the Neoliberal Round Podcast, and we're gonna take it. This way. By the way, just so you know, you can visit us on any stream. You can find your stream by going to .fm/neoliberal. Visit us at neoliberal.com, RenaldoCMcKenzie.com. And the Neoliberal Round Podcast is now a 50c31 company. Yes, we accept donations. You can now donate to the Neoliberal, and you can write it off on your taxes. But we just registered the company. We are in our 5th year, and we are now a registered non-profit organization that is owned by, it's the Neoliberal run by Renaldo McKenzie, but it used to be part of the services that we provide at the Neoliberal Corporation. But now the Neoliberal Round Podcast is now registered as a standalone organization, which is the non-profit entity of the Neoliberal Corporation. We just registered the company, and we're gonna be doing several shows. Ricardo and I will be doing a live. We'll be coming on. He's usually on the phone. He's been doing a lot of audio with us, but hopefully we can have a face-to-face discussion, and we have several shows coming up, and we're hoping that we have Dr. Novelia Lee, I believe, talking about trade schools, and we'll talk more about that. But this is the Neoliberal Round Podcast, signing off. What good? And of course, we're all about making popular what was the monopoly.
Нет войне!